Black History Month 2024.
Wow.
Black History Month 2024.
Absolutely.
Tanya Rosenswag in the Free Think Zone.
Hi.
Man, we're going to talk Black History Month for just a second.
Okay.
All Black history.
All right.
But before we do it, how are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for asking. How about you?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
All right. All right.
You know.
Me too.
Blessed and highly favored.
And flavored.
Melanin on fleek. They don't use, the young people don't use fleek anymore. Though.
That's all right. We can.
Melanin on deck. Melanin on deck. Melanin on deck.
Oh, this melanin is
Now,
popping.
okay, free thinkers out there, we've got some questions for you, particularly if you're educators or you work with young people or you're around young people. We're going to talk about Black History Month and how that can be presented in a school setting, which is not a historically Black institution. Could be very challenging or not, depending on how you do the dang thing. So, free thinkers out there, how do you navigate Black History Month? What does it mean to you? And why is it this month even important or necessary, if in fact it is? Tanya, why is Black History Month necessary and important?
I think it's important just as a reminder to how far we've come and how far we have to go. That we have to pick a month and say that this is Black History Month. So I think it's important. It's important as a reminder, like I said, of where we've been and actually how far we have to go.
As a reminder.
Yes, that we have a long way to go.
But how do you juxtapose that against a society that would rather you forget?
So it's my judgment that you just have to stand 10 toes down and be apologetically loving who you are or who I am and who my people are to me. I unapologetically love us. I think that we're just so dope in every way, and not that I'm anti anything, but I definitely am for us.
Well, I want to just say before we even get down the road, Big Woo is so excited to see you, and he said, I got to tell Tanya that, you know, Big Woo loves you.
Hi, I love you back. Thank you.
So those of you who work in the middle school capacity, because I don't know as it relates to Black history or whatever that is or however that is presented, and you said as a time of remembrance, how do you approach middle school students, say for a public school? Like you're a speaker, you go into these settings, and now you're preparing, just hypothetically, to go into a middle school setting to talk about Black history. What is it that you want them to remember, and how do you even set that up?
Wow. So I'm kind of thinking about that, giving that a lot of thought. I want to come in and let everyone know that they're valued and that they're valuable, and to kind of identify what their value systems are. Even as kids in middle school, I think that that's vitally important to get figured out what's important to them and what they value. And so that would be a way to go in, just to, like I said, be inclusive and still lifting up Black excellence and still reminding the people that this is Black History Month.
You know, Lindsay Mentor, she loves that opening video, that Melanin, that Carrie Joy and Such video. It really captures what many are attempting to share throughout February. Like, it might be as easy as just putting that video on. It's like, poof. But anyway, okay, Gillian McNally says, and listen, again, everyone out there, and we're talking particularly middle school, how do you present Black history Month.
Wow.
In a public school setting, is it important? Are you doing it? And if so, how? Gillian says for many teachers, they have interviewed for research. This is Gillian and I'm assuming Gillian, I can only see the picture. My pronoun game is on hit, so I won't say he, she, or they. I'll use they. For many teachers that Gillian has interviewed for research, teachers report that they only include Black authors, topics during MLK Day and Black History Month. So,
I'm sorry, I missed that.
So many teachers only present Black authors and topics during MLK Day and Black History Month.
So the rest of the year.
The rest of the curriculum, those authors and topics are not necessarily core to what's happening in the classroom.
There lies the problem and the necessity for Black History Month.
Had it not been Martin Luther King Day or Black History Month, that means there would be none of this Black authors or topics.
That's what it sounded like, which is a travesty.
Okay, Gillian continues. Gillian trains current and future teachers at the University of Northern Colorado, UNC. And shout out to all of the teachers that are pursuing a degree in education
Absolutely.
to come back into the classroom. Gillian prepares teachers at the University of Northern Colorado. And so with that being said, I want to expand a little bit first in terms of we're not in the middle school yet. We're at the teacher college. And we do know that the teachers today don't reflect the diversity of society. So you're going to probably be talking to a lot of young adults or young white women that are going to go into teaching. And now you're preparing those young white women to get to the community you came from, because your community is not in those classrooms pursuing teaching at any numbers that would be any more than a fly in the buttermilk. What are you going to say to those teachers?
Brother Jeff, off the top, off the dome, I don't know. I would have to, man, there's so many things right at this moment that's going through my head, but wow. What would I tell them?
Tanya, what do you want white teachers, particularly white women, to know about Black history?
I want them to know it, first of all.
What is it?
Have the desire to, because what is Black history? Black history is American history. It is the history of America and most nations. So I don't even know how to answer that other than Black history is history. I don't know. How do you have any history and negate Black history? I don't even understand how you separate that.
So what you're trying to say, or I'm not saying what you're trying to say, because trying is cousins to trifling.
Right.
What you are saying is your foundation to white teachers at a teaching college is basically no history exists without Black history.
Absolutely. It cannot be separated.
So would you tell all of those students, those college students in your class, that if you can't wrestle with the fact that without Black history, there is no history, and if you have problems with that, I'm going to give you an opportunity to drop this class now and save your grade point average, because drop day is going to be in a couple of weeks. You should probably drop this class right now and say you're not built for this class.
Right, and then take a look at who actually drops out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually take a look at who actually drops out. I don't know, it's time.
Is the class going to be tough?
No, the class is not going to be trust. Truth doesn't need support, right? Truth stands on its own. Let's just look at the truth. Let's look at what is or what was.
If there are any white people that are, and I'm gonna preface that by saying so-called white, but after I say so-called, then I'm gonna go ahead and go with white.
Okay.
Okay. Any white folks watching this that could tell me anything they learned about Black history that in this 28 days, and now that there's a leap year, you're going to have 29. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you learned about Black history that makes you say, well, for an entire month, we need to drill down into this?
We'll wait.
We're going to wait? Okay, but we've gotten away from the middle class. We've gotten away from the middle school class because we haven't got there yet, because we got to get the teachers ready to accept the fact that Black history is needed in their public setting, because beyond Martin Luther King Day and Black History Month, which was Negro History Week, none of this content would perhaps cross your consciousness to even present.
That is just insane. So maybe we need to go back to what they're learning in undergrad, right? What they're...
Well, this is their undergrad. They're going to their profession is they want to be a teacher.
Okay, all right.
So these
and
are
so then you have to have teachers teaching that, right?
Or, it got more complicated.
But there we go.
Now
so
you got the teachers that teach the potential teachers, and it looks like we have one right now, Gillen.
Hi, Gillen.
We might have one. Gillen prepares teachers at the teaching college, and through Gillen's research, most of those current and future teachers will not be engaged in Black history beyond Black History Month or Martin Luther King Day. And when they get to Martin Luther King Day, Dr. King might not even be Black. His message will not be Black. It will be all-encompassing. They won't even know that the struggle that Dr. King was a part of was a Black struggle. It will just be a conversation about what it takes for people to get along.
Wow.
Okay. So the first thing we got to do is establish the fact that there is no history without Black history.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So are we saying that students should know right now that there is no history without Black history, not because Black folks did something first amongst white people, like became the first pediatrician or the first to be able to play baseball with white folks, or the first to be able to drink from a white faucet, or the first to be able to cross the street, or the first to be able to live on a block, or the first to join a white church congregation, or the first to be in a white school. Black history is bigger than what Black folks were able to do first amongst white people.
Absolutely. And way before enslaved people became enslaved people, our history spans back to the beginning of time. So
Gillen, I'm going to follow Gillen's threads because Gillen's doing this research and working with teachers, and says that a lot of teachers report that they teach the concept that we're all the same. This is in the most recent study Gillen has done, is that the main takeaway or the main message is we're all the same. Is that Black history? Tanya, help me out. Is that Black history? At the end of the day, you coming away knowing we're thinking or we're all the same. Where you at with that? I want to teach some white teachers.
Yes, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe that's what needs to happen. It needs to have a gathering of the minds.
But first, you're going to have to break through white fragility.
Right.
Because
Right.
in a Eurocentric setting, everything that you've ever been taught or exposed to or still engage with undergirds the importance of whiteness.
Right.
And so to even say we're going to begin discussing blackness is a counter to everything psychologically you have experienced in your entire life. Are you ready to drop this class before drop day? Because drop day is in 2 weeks. I'm about to present you with something and some information. As a matter of fact, my very black presence in front of you may be causing some consternation for whatever reason.
Or making you uncomfortable. And I think that, I mean, I don't want to say who cares, but let's get past that. What about my being uncomfortable? What about, and who cares? Be uncomfortable, but let's do it anyway. I mean, why is that? Why is their fragility so much more important than maybe someone else's or my being uncomfortable?
Okay, so at this teaching college, the first thing, well, there's two data points that we're going to begin with.
Okay.
First of all, there is no history without black history as the origin of it.
Period.
Not as a history, but I'm talking about
Period.
black history began on day one.
Absolutely.
And data point 2, this is going to make you uncomfortable because everything you've been taught in a Eurocentric environment, Eurocentric meaning the European norms are the center of the universe, so much so that your world begins in antiquity, and antiquity to you denotes Greece and Rome.
Right. Wow. Both. I've been both places.
Is it going to get a
and
little? Is it going to be a little uncomfortable?
Yeah. Like. Yeah.
And then you're gonna be like, you're gonna say, I understand Remus and Romulus and all that stuff you've been thought to make you feel as though you are somehow enlightened, but we're gonna go back, way back. It goes a little. We're gonna go back. Antiquity is not ancient. We're gonna have to go back a little further. Are you ready to see that most of the things that you say you have come across and even invented, created, etc., are just told black history?
What I want, right? Well, that recycled and manipulated to look like something different.
And you're going to have to tell them the Greeks and the Romans, particularly the Greeks, admired black history. This ideal of white mythanthropy, which some call white supremacy, is relatively new, and we can pin it down in the 20th century.
Wow.
19th century, 20th century, we can pin down racial creation and hatred, but your ancestors actually not only appreciated black folks, but worshiped them as gods.
Wow. Wow.
We gonna tell them that, or is that later? Is that PhD?
No, I think we tell them that from the beginning. I think we tell them that. I think we tell them that from the onset, and then ask a question like, "What's at risk for you to actually?" You know what I'm saying?
The risk is my identity is going to unravel right before your eyes, and I'm going to just perhaps disappear. I don't have anything to hold on to. And I'm not ready for that.
Okay. But is that so? Is that a story? You're going to disappear? How? What? I still don't.
Because the most powerful force that a person has is their identity.
Okay,
And once you undergird the fact that your foundation is faulty,
a lie. Okay.
your foundation is faulty,
Okay.
you built a home on sand, and it's tenuous, I'm already on edge most of the time. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm already, most of the time, my identity, I'm on edge, and now here you come with some information called Black history. If I come to the realization that Black folks are not what I have been formatted to believe, the most difficult thing for me to do is change my perspective, and that might just lead to the world we are talking about we want, and that's a world of coming together.
I think that would be so powerful. I think it would be quite the opposite. Them not disappearing at all. But, I mean, that's just me. The truth is the truth, and it just is what it is. And so it doesn't diminish, in my judgment, and that's as an individual, right? Not only, may not be my whole community, but it has to start somewhere with them not being able to devalue who I am because of their beliefs or because of their lies or because of, you know what I'm saying, what they see, feel, and think. I don't know. It just does nothing for me.
But you're in an educational setting where we're going to get to middle school, because I tend to think during this month of February, which is Black History Month, and I look at the workforce inside of public education or education in North America, there is nothing I see collectively that would tell me that that system is even prepared to teach Black history. Like, we were just at the university level where the teachers are being trained by teachers that don't know. They don't know. And now when you get to these 28, now 29 days of February, the only thing based on Gillen's research is we just need to realize that we're all the same.
But, Brother Jeff...
That's as far as they can get.
But listen, Brother Jeff, I don't believe that they don't know.
You don't?
No, I don't believe that they don't know. They don't just... Listen, at some point, somebody knows something.
What do they know?
Because how do you not know and make up a lie, right? How do you not know if you've created something different from the truth? You have to know in order to create something different. So somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. I'm not convinced, no, that they don't know. Something, maybe at this level, but at this level, they know.
Okay, so if they know, then what are they doing to make sure those who don't know continue not to know?
Right, well, those are the systems that are put in place, the systemic racism, the systemic stuff, so that they can remain in the positions that they're in.
You're of the opinion that they know.
I am.
I am of the opinion also that at the highest levels, the architects of deception know.
Right. Like I said, here, maybe not here as much, right? But then you have to have a desire to know. I don't know. I think something innate says that it's wrong. Like, I don't know. And you just turn away like, I don't want to know. I know, but I don't want to know.
What does Black History mean to you? Black History, no, Black History
'cause I don't-
Month. Like, because what we're attempting to do today, and if you've got any recommendations or even if you've got any questions, we will unpack those questions together. But I can tell you that, first of all, the way history is taught in general in the places that I've seen education, and it's pretty much the same, I'd imagine, around North America. I have not studied in all of these different places, educational systems, but I do know that what they teach as history is nothing more than dates and an event, which is pretty much,
Lackluster.
Black History Month
His
like this.
story.
On this day in 1947,
Right.
such and such invented the boom. And you're like,
Right.
so is Black History Month a collection of just facts? Because the follow-up question would probably be, well, on this day, if my people invented that, why are they in poverty today when someone who's living off of their creations continues to flourish?
Absolutely. Generational wealth. Absolutely. Every day. Every day. So, like I said, I mean, like they say, Black Friday, every Friday is Black Friday because that's what it is. So, like I said, Black History Month to me is simply a reminder of where we've come from and how far we need to go until we get to the point where there's no need for a Black History Month because every day is being taught. We're operating in a system that works for all of us, which, hey, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But I mean,
what is this thing, Tanya? What is this thing called Black History Month? Then, like, we already went to the University of Northern Colorado to we peeped in metaphorically. We do know that the teaching force is not comprised of Black people at all.
right.
You know, and so the teachers of Black history don't have a Black foundation to teach from, and they may be teaching from some old retold slavery stories or slavery.
Right.
You
right.
know, they may be teaching from some of them old retold lies that have been told to bury the truth of our identity, contributions, and undergirding what they call these first world countries. What is it? Because now you're going to get into a middle school and just say, for example, they bring you into the classroom or into the assembly room. And I've done tons of these, you know. I don't do them as much anymore because there are so many others that are doing such great and incredible work. But you're going to probably be the only Black person in front of them for the next rest of the year.
Well,
I'm a Black woman, here you come. You're in front of all of these beautiful children, and they're brown, black, red, purple, blue, white. They're all of them. They're all there, and they're looking, and they're here for a Black excellence presentation. You're the only Black excellence they're going to see for a while other than themselves. But, I mean, you know what I mean. What are you doing there? What do you want them to know?
Oh, I'm going to, like I said, the objective would be to have them identify their own value, right? What they value, and just to value themselves.
This is all the students?
Yes.
I'm taking notes.
Yes, take notes.
I'm taking notes. Notes.
Yes.
And everybody, if you've got suggestions, ideas, you're working with, students, and it's Black History Month, and you're an administrator, or it's something that you have to do along education. How are you handling this Black History Month dynamic in your building or classroom? What is it? What are you doing? Put it in the chat. But you're going to show value.
Yes, or have them identify and help them navigate what that might look like
All of the
for
students?
them. Yeah, all of the students, but, and particularly the black students. But yes, all of the students. But yes, and particularly the black students, because we are focusing on, because it's Black History Month, we're focusing on black excellence. We'll be focusing on black excellence. But just, yes, getting in there and letting them help them navigate to find what's valuable to them, especially those that maybe don't have a point of reference. Because I judge that all of them will not have a point of reference. And so just taking that time that I have, which is a limited amount of time, to, like I said, to get them thinking about
Value. 40.
their value.
How much time you have? Maybe 45 minutes?
If that. Yep, if that.
Even when someone says, come do Black History and talk to us for 10 or 15 or 30 minutes, isn't it kind of like, I'll take it?
Absolutely. I'll take it whenever I can, however I can get in there. Absolutely.
D says, since it appears educators want to package Black history into the package currently called February, perhaps there should be 2 weeks of Black history taught every single month of the school year, which will eventually morph into just U.S. history.
I like it. Right. I like it.
Okay. You're going to go values, and the reason you want to teach value is why? Why do you want to approach Black history to middle school students beginning with value?
Oh man, because we live in a system and in a world that devalues us as a people. And so it would behoove me to go in there and, like I said, with the amount of time that I have, get them at least looking at or give them ways to identify what's valuable to them and then go with that.
Now, can I
let
fix
them see
this?
Yes, fix it.
No, I'm not. I mean, I want to add on to it.
Okay.
Because it's Black History Month. Mm-hmm. You're going to have, and I've done this a gazillion years, so I'm going to tell you what you're up against.
And please do, but wait, listen. And where I'm going to be doing it is predominantly kids of color.
Okay, good. I want to do kids of color. I want to do kids of color, predominantly.
Yeah.
But you do know that a gazillion kids of color can be trumped by one white kid that's uncomfortable.
Oh, God. Well, whatever.
One white kid in that building is worth all them kids of color, particularly if they're made uncomfortable and they go home and say, I was at a Black Excellence Assembly. And I felt some way about this. Not to mention, because you're in a system that has segregated all these individuals, now the brown ones are going to come and say, and they taught Black history, and I'm brown. And then the red ones going to say, and they taught Black history, and I'm red. And then the yellow one's going to say, and they taught Black history, and I'm yellow. And so anytime somebody says kids of color, people of color, BIPOC, all of that stuff, all they're saying is we need to do something that ain't got nothing to do with white people.
Well, I'm so happy that I'm not going in there and teaching them about Black history. I'm teaching them themselves individually to identify what's valuable to them so that they feel valued.
Who's they? All of them?
All of them.
So then how's it Black history? Doesn't that go to what the teacher said? Let me go back.
That all people,
all of us, we all got value.
And we do. But that doesn't negate. But we live in a system, right? Or we're dealing with a system that they say all lives matter, But it doesn't. That's the reality. Otherwise, if all lives matter, there would be no place for Black Lives Matter. If history was history, there would be no need for a Black History Month. So I mean, it is what it is. What? I don't understand. When you deal with it as it is, then they got a problem with that as well.
Are you going to tell them that in middle school or at the college?
Oh,
Because you got to tell
Lord.
somebody that. Because see that you hit at
So
the
I'ma
core
tell-
of it. You just hit the truthful bone where everybody tiptoes around it. Like, for example, do you go in front of the middle school folks and say, or maybe let me just go university first, because I don't know what the middle school folks. You got 45 minutes, but do you know there's a study now that says that the attention span of the average adult is less than a minute?
like 45 seconds or
45 seconds.
I don't know. I mean,
You got so
somewhere
if you
around
got 45 seconds with an adult, you got 13 seconds with a middle schooler. So let's go up to the college once again.
Okay.
We've already established that as a professor, you can walk in that class and say, I'm going to tell you about Black history. Without Black history, there would be no history. If that makes you uncomfortable, because what I just said makes certain people uncomfortable, I'm not going to say it makes certain people uncomfortable. It makes white people uncomfortable. And mostly y'all are white. And the reason you're in this institution is because of your whiteness. In the very same way that as a Black person in a white institution, they tend to say the only reason you're here is because you got in through affirmative action or something. In other words, the whole system saying you ain't supposed to be here and you ain't supposed to be here. But the reality is Black history makes white people nervous. Not all, but the ones that would say, why are we even doing this? And there are a lot of people who are saying, why are they doing this? Because if I got to the middle school level, I hold them kids for 2 hours straight because they brilliant.
Right. But, and why are they doing this? They who us? They're asking us, why are we doing it when they are the ones that said this? They made the Black History Month, right?
Okay, let's go to Kira Rivera.
All right, let's go.
Kira's question is, what's different than the LGBTQ plus assembly our kids learn about and every other group in culture, but when it's us, we get is the same old.
Well,
They'll
that
show my son Hotel Rwanda fast, but that's it. That was last week. He came home with that permission slip. Black History Month it's Black History Month, and the permission slip is to watch Hotel Rwanda?
in Black History Month. It might have been okay if it was in March. I don't get it.
They're going to show the white kids
Oh God.
Black genocide.
Right.
See, they're not going to show you roots. They're not going to show you the impact of whiteness on Black bodies.
Sure.
They're going to show you the impact of Black bodies on Black people, thereby reinforcing the argument that the problem isn't outside, it's Black on Black.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. We're wrestling with Black History Month right now, and everybody, I want to know your why, and I want to know what you are doing in your classrooms. I think the easy answer is to just put up a picture of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Thank you.
Not Malcolm. Put up the King. Maybe hit him with some Rosa Parks. Call it a day.
Him and Malcolm were buddies.
No, but you can't put that out there. You can't even here's the rule. Here's the rule.
Yeah.
Anything white folks don't authorize cannot be presented because it's unauthorized. And so, no. The only thing that you could do with Malcolm is the same thing that Kira saw with the Hotel Rwanda. The only thing you could do with Malcolm is say that black people killed Malcolm also. You can only bring in the black element, but you can never bring in, the deeper.
Oh yeah, because it was
unauthorized version.
It was a lot deeper, and even with Brother Martin, they only show the kumbaya part. He was so much more than that. He was not, you know what I'm saying, all butterflies and roses. No. But it is what it is. I all I could do is what I can do, and I'm going to do what I do. If they give me 15 minutes, if they give me 45 minutes, whatever they give me, I'm going to pour into those babies. I'm going to do what I can do with my point of reference and my sphere of influence.
Okay, but let's get back to your teaching of black history at the middle school level would be about values. And then you broke into some, like, when you got to the point where you were like, shh, that's the point, that's the entry point. Because the reason you're talking black history and you're talking values is you tell the young people that in this society, black people have been devalued.
That's it. And that's the reason.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
So then why would anybody have a problem with someone standing in front of middle school? And I'm not saying anybody is, but since you all are teaching black history, are any of the teachers, I'm not saying that put up the Martin Luther King poster or got the sign-up sheet for the Hotel Rwanda, I'm saying, are there any teachers that are saying the reason Black History Month is important is because black lives don't matter in this society? They have been devalued. And for these 28, now 29 days, we are attempting to put some value on black lives. It's going to make some of you uncomfortable. And because of your discomfort, even in your discomfort, you're going to benefit from black pain by getting your month, getting your alphabets, getting your gender, getting your entry point, while at the same time devaluing the very people who opened the door for you. Mm-hmm. You gonna say that?
Yeah, they might not. That might be too much.
Might be too much.
Might be too much.
So then let's do okay. But can you when you get to a middle school where young people are being shaped in their identity, mm-hmm. all middle schoolers, they're either too tall or they're too short. Their hair is too straight or it's too kinky. Mm-hmm. They're too big or they're too skinny. Mm-hmm. They're flat chested or they got big breasted. Like all of it is you're in the world of identity shifting. Ain't nobody got it right except a bully who bullies people about their difference while being ashamed of the fact that they're different. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to hit them with, it's Black History Month, and I'm going to let you know, as these identities are being shaped, perhaps you can appreciate those who are that are being undervalued in the same way many of you are being undervalued. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to unpack some stuff. I'm going to be here 45 minutes. It's going to make some folks a little bit uncomfortable. I want you to lean into it. Let's get it.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm going
Lean into that mic.
Yep. Like I said, I'm going in, and I'm going in. Like I said, the first thing is the value. Them as individuals, period. So that they can survive, so that they can get through what surely they're going to experience if they haven't already. Microaggressions, different things. I'm not even going to get into all of that. But like I said, yes, I'm going in, and I'm just going to pour into those babies.
But what's the best practice? But you know what I mean? I know that you're talking about a specific group, but I'm just saying in general, when you walk away, you're going to pour in the love, the esteem, the value, mm-hmm. etc.
The objective is for them to walk away feeling like or identifying something in themselves or something about themselves that they value, that they can hold on to in this very wicked and dark world systems whether that be school, whether that be home, whatever their environment is, giving them something, giving them a tool, giving them something that they can lean into,
So there's a well-meaning white teacher right now. They're all in for the Black history. They just don't know where to get in at. Now, there's some that is like, I'm in charge of this school. This Black history stuff is divisive. We're not going to do anything about it. And by the way, we didn't do anything with that Black excellence resolution either. But I'm talking to the white one that's watching right now. And they're like, I want to do something for Black history. I want what Tanya's given in terms of that Black history. What would you share with them? Like, boom, right now.
Would tell them to just let it happen. Like, you know what? Be uncomfortable, be afraid, but let it happen anyway.
You know what I might do if I were like a teacher?
What might you do?
I might say something like this. You know what? It's Black History Month, and it's important. And I'd leverage my power because the teacher should have power in a classroom, whether it's the college level or middle school, high school, or whatever. I would lean into my power as an opening to do something like this. You know what? Black history is important. See, that's the first thing. I'm already disbanding the why are we doing this stuff. Because if I come in with the why are we doing this stuff, my power has become a part of the status quo. It's allowed everyone who thinks that to be that. But if I stand 10 toes down and say, you know what, Black history is important. And as a matter of fact, if it weren't for Black history, there would be no history. Because science proves, now you can be scientific, science proves that everything comes out of Blackness. Everything. But what we're going to do right now as it relates to the Black experience, now I ain't even going to history, the Black experience. There's some Black folks in this classroom right now that are often overlooked and may have been bitten with the bug of being devalued. That's not me because that's not my experience. So we're going to allow, or we're going to participate in hearing some stories and perspectives from people who live it, and they're in this classroom right now. There's Blackness in this classroom right now. And from the littlest Black person to the first one that was born, they got a gazillion years more experience about Blackness than I will ever have. And I don't care how many books I read or how many Black friends I have. There's a Black person right there. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to move out the way because I often gobble up all the air anyway. All of the oxygen. I've got all of your resources. The reason I'm even in this facility or in this community is based on a population that doesn't even reflect me. I'm going to step aside for a few minutes.
Baby.
Is that too much? Is it? In a world of wanting to build a more equitable society, if it means you got to move out the way and quit gobbling up the oxygen of all of the BIPOC people because your whiteness says that you should be the one in front of everybody setting curriculum in the tone of everyone's community, might it be time for you to just go to your community? Because there will always be a place for you to work at the post office. Is that too much?
No, it's not too much. I don't know how effective it would be, but I don't know, but oh God, that's a whole nother. Maybe we should be talking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Because it's so much bigger, it's so much deeper. It's like.
But now we're just talking Black history. There's certain history you probably can't teach.
Well, no,
or
nor would I,
experience.
nor do I have a desire to.
And then maybe that's why folks just put up the Martin Luther King poster and don't deal with it, because what am I gonna do?
Okay, so move out the way and let someone that can do, right? Get out the way and let somebody that can and that has a desire to do so. And I have issues with letting, so I got my own stuff going on, but like.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Morgan Richards says they could show kids the Rachel B. Noel visiting professorship talk from Joy Ann Reid in 2020. Yeah. They can, yeah. If they could see Black excellence.
True. You talking about the middle schoolers?
Yeah, like yes.
Actually show them a film, because
show them some Black excellence, because okay. Can I say this?
Yes, this is a...
Yeah, hit him with the trigger alert.
Okay, let me hit y'all with the trigger alert so he can say what it is that he gonna say. Trigger alert. This is a show that triggers people because you've entered a free think zone. If you're not willing to be exposed to other points of view, tune out now and don't read the comments. You have been warned.
You've been warned. We're talking Black History Month, Black excellence, and teaching middle school kids, or just even embracing Black history. I think what I would first like everyone to know is, just because you've got a lot of money doesn't make you excellent.
No, because... Well,
just because you're a gazillionaire, it doesn't make you excellent. You might be a gazillionaire, but it doesn't make you excellent. So going back to Morgan Richards' point, where she's saying perhaps folks seeing a conversation with Joy Reid, who is from Colorado, at a Rachel B. Noel visiting professorship talk. Mm-hmm. Rachel B. Noel is an example of excellence. Mm-hmm. She wasn't a gazillionaire, but she was excellent. You know what I mean? Maybe someone might get the message that calling Black women bitches don't make you excellent.
No. Far from it. Far from it.
Even if they pay you to do it.
Right.
Even if you could get a Grammy doing it.
Right.
Even if at the highest level you could degrade or devalue a people, that doesn't make you excellent. It probably just makes you a tool in the toolbox of devaluing Blackness.
Yeah. I agree. I think that the person that invited me to speak thinks that I am an example of Black excellence.
Because you are.
Because I am. I happen to think that you're an example of Black excellence and what that looks like. So again, that's why I'm so set on getting to those babies and having them identify. And again, they may not have had a point of reference, but me standing there is the first point of contact, and then going into letting them see or helping them identify the things that are valuable within themselves.
Okay, so here's the teaching point then. If you are attempting to do a Black History Month program or a Black History Month honoring, bring some Black excellence into the environment. Invite Tanya, invite Kira, Invite Big Woo. Invite Thelma. Invite Carla. You know,
Absolutely.
Invite Kiana. Invite Big Woo and all of these individuals that are Black excellence, as opposed to reinforcing stereotypes.
Absolutely.
That's one thing you could do. Also,
I like
you
it.
can realize that Black history is not dead.
Oh, absolutely not.
And there is a worldview about history that it's dates, times, historical moments. Whereas you don't understand when you see Brother Jeff, you're looking at Black history. Tanya is Black history. And so why not say we are going to get out of this dead, two-dimensional or one-dimensional European framework that doesn't look at the multi-dimensional aspects of humanity and the world view? Why don't we take 28, 29 days to get away from what these scholars, who are actually portrayers and purveyors of the worst humanity has ever produced,
Say that.
your excellence, your scholars that you are leaning on to talk about what it means to be human, experimented on Black bodies. I don't even want to go into the mindset of the folks you say are excellent and educators and created this and created that, and you look up under their just a little bit under who they are, and you see nothing more than the shaitan in person.
Man.
Why don't you bring some humanity to your classroom? Why don't you be human? So, for example, if you're a teacher and you somehow think you're better because of the color of your skin, why don't you examine that? And first of all, realize that it is not true.
Wow.
If you want to talk about Black history and you are living in some form of comfort, why don't you realize that that comfort is on the backs of individuals who were not paid? That's why we're not going to do the race to the bottom. Same thing happened to this one and that one. I'm talking about the ones that wasn't paid. I'm not talking about the ones that was, minimally paid. So if we're going to get to this foundation, then you're going to have to start teaching and talking the truth. And I'm not too sure this system is ready for truth.
Well, I say buckle up, and those of us that know, those of us that are living in our truths, we just have to keep going. We have to get 10 toes down and just do what we do.
But that's what we've been doing.
That is what we've been
That's
doing.
how we
and
do it.
That is how we do it, and that's how we're going to continue to do it unapologetically.
And the big space that I want you all to really lean into is this. Don't wait to send your children to an institution to be taught who they are. They should be walking into that institution knowing who they are, and then when they see something that is counter to who they are, they will know themselves enough to say, that might be you, but that ain't me. And how do you know who you are? Because I'm rooted in my family tree. And as a matter of fact, that kid might turn around and say, and what the hell am I doing in here anyway? With all this nonsense and foolishness and folks talking about Greece and Rome is ancient and died with all of these diseases because they didn't know how to wash their hands. Now all of a sudden they're at the head of medicine and the head of this and the head of that, but didn't tell you they got it from there and they got it from there and they got it from there and they got it from you. They running around with your story, and you don't even know it's your story.
Right. So it's imperative for us to study, to learn, to do the deep dives. You know what I mean?
Does that make people uncomfortable, what we just talked about?
I'm sure.
That's the
but
entry
it is
point.
What it, yeah, that is what it is. But
You know. Happy Black History Month. I would probably tell you that you can't hide truth.
you can't.
You can't not love. And so the only thing that's happening in 28, 29 days is that some uncovering is taking place and it makes some folks uncomfortable, whereas it shouldn't. You know, you got to know black people are loved, because if we weren't, this whole dang society would have been blown up a long time ago.
Absolutely.
If the little bit, Paquito, I know what you've done to us.
Right.
I ain't even talking about the stuff you covered up. Stuff that people is uncovering and whole communities buried and destroyed and rivers made and
Right.
underwater, and they've been, legally, enslaved and hunted down and murdered, and sisters in Aurora just yesterday or the day before getting mauled down by the police, being accused of stealing. They ain't even asked if there's a receipt, and then all of a sudden it ain't that, but the kids is crying. All this is terrorism. This is all terrorism. With the little bit of what we know that takes place to us, and you sleep comfortably at night.
Absolutely.
You got to know that we're loved.
And that's part of the fear. That's part of that thing that keeps that keeps them from, coming into the real, because they know if we were as insidious. Lord,
So maybe that's
this
the
is a
Black
trick.
History. Maybe that's the Black History Month. The teacher could stand up and say, Black history began with the people we devalue and hate the most. And those folks are so full of love. And someone would say, love? Yes, because with the
Forgiveness.
little bit that they know that what has been heaped on them, we sleep well at night.
Love, forgiveness. Yeah, all of that good stuff.
We sleep well at night. And then one of them will pull up old Thomas Jefferson, who said, I know God is just, and God's going to wake up, and I tremble for what's going to happen to us based on what we done to them. That's old founding father slave owner sleeping with the black woman.
That part.
That's old founding father slave holding sleeping with the black woman,
Coming to the reality.
saying, I know what we did.
Right.
And that's when you said, I think they know.
Yeah. That's my belief that they do. Otherwise, there wouldn't be no reason to formulate something else. There would be no reason to formulate something else.
So go ahead and teach. Say, black folks is love,
Black folks
is forgiving,
are love.
passionate,
Right. We are
extraordinary. How do we know? Because they still here.
amazing.
What? After all that, they
Period.
still here and ain't going nowhere.
resilient,
And keep coming
beautiful.
back.
kind, all of that good stuff. Beautiful, light. Man, I could go on and on. Absolutely.
Well, the reason I know is because I've never not been here.
All right.
I done seen it all. Y'all could put this date down and that. I have never not been here.
So what? Okay. Yeah. Y'all know what?
Happy Black History Month.
Happy
too much.
Black History Month.
So what are you gonna teach the kids?
Like I said, values. I'm
going in?
staying with it. I'm going in. I'm going to do what I do.
You gonna
Yep.
because
in the spirit of excellence.
when you walk in the door, black excellence will walk in that door.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, that's what I'm saying. When you are who you are, when people see you, they're like, "Oh wow, that's what that is."
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's very powerful.
No birth record. There is no beginning, no ending.
Wow.
Tanya, it's
Wow.
great hanging out with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
It's a blast.
BJ.
It's a ball. Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month, and thank you so much, BJ. Y'all know how he do.
I didn't even hit him with so-called black today. I just went straight in Black History Month. I didn't do so-called.
That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother session.
I will let individuals know who are dealing with our people. One of the things that you have to realize is that I don't know. Much of what you think you know and what you have been taught about us as original people has been skewed. And those who have done the skewing or tricknology know exactly what has been done. And that's why you've got individuals behind me. Like, let's take Harriet Tubman, for example. Not only is there racism, but there's patriarchy that doesn't even recognize who Harriet Tubman is. Like, don't teach Harriet Tubman was a runaway slave. And let me just tell you why. Because slaves don't run. And a slave will only lead you to another master. That's why we can't let you put your little hands on Black history. Because most of the time, you're just sharing old tales of old that keep you enslaved mentally, keep you enslaved physically, and keep you as a tool and a slave for other people. When you know who you are, you'll be free.
Absolutely.
Ask me how I know.
How you know, Brother
Because
John?
I'm free.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But teach this at home. Teach the kids and let them go in, teach them well. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
The way.
Because the kids know. The reason you're having problems in these classrooms is because the kids already know you lying to them. And you're not lying. You're just telling the truth of what you've been told that you interpret as truth, which is actually a lie.
Yep. When you know, you know.
And with that being said, happy Black History Month. Lean into it. What you can do, pick up a book. Talk to somebody. Examine what you think you know. Whatever it is you think you know as truth, examine it. And see if it holds up in the light. See if it works. Try it on. I'll leave you with this. Truth and falsehood was going skinny dipping.
What?
Truth and falsehood, they was going skinny tipping. They was racing. They was running to the river. And right when they got to the river, because they were skinny dipping,
Sure.
truth dived into the river and falsehood stopped and put on truth's clothes and ran in the other direction.
Right.
And from that day to this,
Falsehood been running with the truth's clothes on.
the naked truth has been trying to keep up with a well-dressed lie.
I like it. Mic drop. It's over.
Go to brotherjeff.com, make a donation of any amount. We are powered by the people. Thank you to all of our patrons. And don't forget about the great Leanne Wheeler's favorite option. It's Cash App, $JEFFFARD. We appreciate you. And don't forget about Chubby Curls, educating the natural community one scalp at a time. If you got those little skinny curls, make them chubby. Chubbycurls.com. There's no such thing as a runaway slave because a slave won't run.
Right.
Harriet damn sure wasn't no slave.
Absolutely
let
not.
alone a runaway. Now you got to do the homework to figure out whom she is. If you go down swinging. Just might score a knockout. Rumble, young man, woman, and community.
Rumble.